Father James Gorman, or Father Jim. I was at Incarnation from June of 1984 until August of 1987, so a little over 3 years.
Oh, okay.
It was my second parish. The first church I was at was the Cathedral of St. Paul. And I had lived in St. Paul for 12 years for college, grad school, and my first parish, the cathedral. So moving from St. Paul to Minneapolis was like a big deal. And I was rather nervous about it. But once I got the hang of it, I rather liked the move. It was pretty immediate, actually. And during the years that I was at Incarnation, that's when I learned how to navigate South Minneapolis, which is, once you learn the main streets, it's not very hard to navigate. So to this day, I still know how to navigate South Minneapolis because of living there. When I first got to Incarnation, the 75th anniversary of the church then, which was in the summer and fall of 1984, was just beginning. Very shortly after I arrived there, they did a production of It's a Good Man, Charlie Brown. It was done by several adults in the parish, including Lonnie Murphy from the staff and others from the music groups and drama groups and just people from the community. That was going on. That fall we did the 75th in a bigger way at the Fall Festival. We did a bigger thing. We sold cups, mugs, and we had t-shirts. I had a t-shirt. One of the things that happened that summer, or just before I arrived, is that they put in a new security system for the church and for the rectory next door. And we had a major malfunction of that in a thunderstorm, in a severe electrical storm in the first part of August. During one of the strikes, it caused the new system to go on, even though there was no intruder. And it went on and it jammed it. We couldn't shut it off. It was blaring. We had to get somebody from the whoever installed the system to come out about 3 o'clock in the morning. It was in the dead of night. And when the strike hit, it just knocked Bob and I out of bed, literally. And we couldn't, and the sound was just blaring anywhere. You couldn't get away from it. And you couldn't go outside because it was still storming. It was in the rectory and in the church. So whatever it hit, it was the same system, although you had regions. Different. You could turn the church on without turning the office on, or whatever. But at that point, we would have had both on. But whatever, a power surge caused it to jam and stay on. And his dog was kind of going crazy too, I think, because it was hurting his ears. Tommy, his Siberian Husky. Lonnie Murphy was on the staff. Carrie Kanowitz was on the staff, as Lonnie was liturgy music. Carrie was our parish secretary, an unbelievably talented young woman at the time. She was only 20 when I started there. She was just amazing. Kathy Itzen, who did religious ed, and she was amazing, and she was very young, probably 25. And she now works at doing faith formation at St. Joan of Arc and has been for a while. I'm still in contact with Lonnie. We share a birthday, March 13th. We celebrated it together when we were at Incarnation, and we have a couple times since. Lonnie and I are still good friends. Let's see. Russ Shoup, I worked with Russ Shoup, who's now Deacon Russ Shoup, and has been ordained for quite a while, and he now works in clergy services at the Archdiocese, and he's also a deacon at the St. Paul Cathedral. He was there at that time. Yes, I worked with her a lot. Rosie was so dedicated to her craft. She really loved Incarnation. She was a very, very interesting, lady who had endured some real hard things in her life, but she kind of rose above them. And whenever we needed her to do a funeral or something on sometimes short notice, she'd always be there. She had a beautiful eccentricity about her. And she had a hearty laugh, and sometimes she had some of the most interesting spiritual thoughts I've ever heard that were really spot on. I used to do quite a bit at the school. I was over there quite a bit. Well, we had liturgical functions, but I went over to the lunchroom pretty regularly, and the kids seemed comfortable, around me, and vice versa. The teachers enjoyed me coming over and doing that. Chuck Wolmering was the principal then. Mm-hmm. Chuck's sister, Carlene, is married to my dad's cousin. And we knew that when we came and worked together, we knew that. So so that was, Chuck was a very, very good principal. Very good. Very astute, very hardworking. I remember I went in the classrooms and did a few talks, but I don't remember about what. It could have been, it might have been about that. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. I might have done that or something in regards to a religion class. After I was there a few months, we somehow got the thought together of Lonnie and I and others, especially in the group that did the music for the downstairs 10 a.m. Sunday Mass, that maybe we should put on some kind of a coffee house concert, and we were trying to come up with a name of it, and we came up with was Father Jim and the Underground Masters, MASS-TERS. So we did that in the spring of 1985. I was there not quite a year at that point, but more familiar with the church and people with me. So I did. I, along with that group, we did some group numbers all together, and then individual numbers. I did some, Lonnie did some. Lonnie and I, remember, we did a piano duet because we had I don't remember what we did, but we did a piano duet of some kind. Other people in the group did individual numbers, and then we did a group number at the end of some sort. It was a big hit.
Yeah.
I did the piano, did some singing. At that, did I play the flute at that? I don't remember. I might have. I can't remember. It was such a big hit, almost from the time that we did the first one, we got requests to do another one. So the second one took place in October of 1986, about 15 months later. And that one was definitely a fundraiser. When we charged admission for that one, we used the proceeds to buy that little Baldwin Spinet piano for the lower level. Pretty good little piano. Yeah, I don't know if it's still there or whatever, but that's a while ago. But it was nice to have a nice little piano downstairs that could hold the intonation better than the other one that we had. But that one. I remember the day that it occurred, we had two weddings. The day of the concert, Monaghan had two weddings, Bob did. We had a funeral, and I had that in the morning. He had the two weddings, and then I had to take the 5:30 Mass because he had the two weddings. And then this concert was on at 7. It was a tight squeeze, plus we had the rummage sale downstairs, and that had all to be cleaned out, and that ran until about 3. It was a lot. But once again, the second one was a great success. We had great turnout. I remember one of the things that I remember was done was Bridge Over Troubled Water, which even then was, Bridge Over Troubled Water came out in 1970, and so even this is 86, so even then it had been around a while, but it was very much a standard by then. I remember that was one of the things that we did. I can't remember what else we did. On the first one, I do remember I did something from Hello Dolly. It only takes a moment because I had been in Hello Dolly summer stock when I was in college. So I remember we did that in the first one. And I remember Lonnie and I did a duet in one of them. Maybe it was the second one. I think we did Pachelbel's Canon in D. I think that's what it was.